It's time to look ahead to the second test match between the West Indies and India, the final game of this tour for India after taking the first test at Antigua quite emphatically. Questions for the West Indies to answer, especially with the bat. They're looking for their first points of the World Test Championship, so it's not only a series that they need to try and level, but also the longer picture of getting some points on the board for the World Test Championship. India, on the other hand, still be looking to make the most of this series and try and register another 60 points. Let's get Daren Ganga's thoughts on ESPNcricinfo Match Day. Right, Daren, and let's start with the focus on the West Indies batting, which after what went down in the fourth innings of the Antigua Test again highlights the gulf between both teams in terms of batting if the West Indies get it wrong and India get it right. How do they address that? We've been talking about the West Indies batting in every format almost over the last few months. What's the immediate fix to try and salvage the series?
Well, I think it's about trying to get all the players in the proper mindset for this second test match. That will be the most important thing for Floyd Reefer and even Ramnaresh Sawan, who is the batting consultant hired by Cricket West Indies to help with the young batters in this West Indian side. I think more so when you look at the West Indian batting lineup, there are a few batsmen there who've been critical for the West Indies in terms of how well they do with the bat. You look at what transpired in the last year or so, their lower half, they have been producing the same amount of runs as the top half. So the likes of Jason Holder is very crucial for this West Indian batting lineup. I also think when you look at this West Indies batting lineup, you look at a guy like Craig Brathwaite and Darren Bravo, both players who played over 50 test matches and who both have 8 test match centuries. It's crucial for either one of these two to at least get a start and go big. We've seen that in the last test match played here at Sabina Park in 2018 against Bangladesh. Craig Brathwaite scored a fine century which led West Indies to getting a total of 350. In that very first test match, many of the batters in the top 6, top 7 got starts but wasn't able to convert, and it's been an issue that Cricket West Indies is trying to address with all their batters. Many of the young players coming into the fold, they're not accustomed to scoring first-class centuries, so the expectation of them doing it at the highest level is always very slim. So it's an uphill task for the West Indies. I think they need to play a collective game. When it comes to the batting, they all need to contribute to the pot.
We just have a look at the 13-man squad that the West Indies have confirmed for this second test match. And Miguel Cummins, the only casualty from the first test to miss out. Keemo Paul, who did play one test in India, had a hard initiation at Rajkot just in his second test. But he's back in the test setup. And I'm seeing that Jamar Hamilton, the uncapped wicketkeeper, retains a spot in this team. Whether the West Indies would be tempted to play someone like Hamilton to relieve Shai Hope of wicket-keeping duties, because as I look at Shai Hope's career and the importance that he has for this team, Daren, he's batted most of his test career in the top 4, top 5. Here he is batting 6 and 7 now, I'm guessing because he has the added burden of keeping wicket. Is that in any way adversely affecting or messing with the West Indies batting lineup?
Yes, I think Shai Hope is better suited for the top 3, top 4 position in this West Indian lineup. I think they need to take responsibility as a batting unit. I'd also like to see Jason Holder and Hetmyer bat higher up. Holder in particular, he has been, out of all the players in this West Indian team, with the bat, he's been most consistent. So maybe him being bold and batting at maybe a number 6 position might be the way to go. They will have good memories of playing here at Sabina Park the last time around against Bangladesh. Jason Holder got a fifer and Craig Brathwaite at the top of the innings got a century. So there are adjustments to be made, but I think more importantly it's got to be a mental sort of approach that is positive and that has a lot of confidence in it.
So as I am to understand, what would your ideal 11 for this Jamaica Test match be then? With Miguel Cummins out, would you just put a like for like or at least a seam option in Keemo Paul? Or will you be tempted to give Rakeem Cornwall a debut? And does Jamar Hamilton fit into your 11? Any changes that you would make other than the one that will be made in Miguel Cummins' absence?
Yeah, I think Keemo Paul might get the nod in this test match. Again, I don't subscribe to, trying to make up for a mistake which took place earlier. I think the conditions are also going to dictate what that bowling combination will be for the West Indies. I'd like to see Shai Hope go back at number 3. Maybe Shamar Brooks after that debut not getting an added opportunity. Just tightening that batting, making room for Keemo Paul at the expense of one of the specialist batters. That to me will be a more balanced team, so that you have the same options of Jason Holder, Shannon Gabriel, Kemar Roach and Keemo Paul, who last played here against Bangladesh in 2018. So I think there's more balance to that team. Again, if the conditions doesn't look as though seamers would thrive, there will be the possibility of playing a Rakeem Cornwall. But I say play as you see it. The groundsman here, the curator, Michael Hilton, indicated that it's going to be a green surface that is going to be suited for fast bowlers. So I expect that the West Indies will pick their 11 based on the conditions and the players that they have in their squad. So just one change I will make for this particular test match.
Yes, you do talk about conditions, and as we have a look at what Sabina Park has offered in recent times in Test match cricket, the teams batting first have won 3 of the last 5 matches with 1 draw. The average first innings score for both teams is 328, and the Pacers averaged 24.78. The spinners averaging a little over 33, which takes me to what India's possible combination could be like. Some of us were quite surprised with the exclusion of R. Ashwin. Sunil Gavaskar from your commentary team on the host broadcaster network was one of those people. They were staggered that Ashwin didn't get a game. Jadeja's put in a good shift. Vihari, who was the other contentious selection, got runs in the second innings. Would you propose any changes to the Indian team? Would there be a case to play 2 spinners in Jamaica, Daren?
Well, I mean, you look at what they produce and you look at this Indian team, they've been very successful, as if to sort of reinforce the decisions that Virat Kohli and his think tank they're making in terms of their combinations, in terms of the results. At the end of the day, it's about winning matches at the international level, and Virat Kohli has been able to do that despite persons talking about the combinations available to him and the options which he has chosen. So I really think their bowling is a little bit thin. You look at that bowling lineup with 3 fast bowlers and Ravi Jadeja, and you think if West Indies in that first test match got maybe 2 or 3 of their batters to carry on in terms of what they delivered with the bat, it would be an uphill battle for Virat Kohli. Yes, he spoke about the option of Vihari bowling a few overs for him, but I still think that maybe considering another bowler will be a good option for Virat Kohli. He may have to sacrifice one of his batters. I don't think there are any concerns with their batting. I still feel that there's room for an extra bowler in this team. If conditions dictate seamers should play, then I think he might want to consider playing an additional seamer and giving himself another option with the ball.
Right, many thanks for that, Daren. We'll get your thoughts at the end of this test match as well. The second test and the final game for India on this tour is at Sabina Park in Kingston between India and the West Indies, and it starts on the 30th of August.